Well, hello and welcome to Knife Delights. Oh my goodness, I've got a special knife here. Folks, I can get very excited over a $2 antique store find, but there is something about the Buck 110. It is just a special pattern to me because of its history, and I was able to pick up this beautiful 2023 Bourbon and Blades 1 of 100. And what's even more exciting is we open it up and it is signed by C.J. Buck. Now, C.J. Buck is the current chairman, CEO of Buck, and C.J. is the great-grandson of Hoyt Buck. So once again, people kind of wonder, well, what's so special about Buck knives? Well, that's one of the things I find special about Buck is it's still family run. It's fourth generation. And I don't know of any other knife companies here in the United States that are fourth generation family owned to this day. So before we get started, we'll take a look at the box. Well, it came in kind of a standard box here, but here on the end it says 1 of 100 2023 Bourbon and Blades 110. Made in the USA. There you go. Whoops, upside down. Edge of a legend. Genuine ebony hardwood handle. And we'll open it up here. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see too. Yeah. See label for details. I'll just open it up here. And you have your standard famous forever warranty. Doesn't matter how many owners the knife has had, Buck will stand behind it. And then a little note here on natural markings. And same thing I've always said, when you get natural material, whether it's wood, bone, stag, each knife has its own special look to it because of the way that the natural materials come out. And then you have your standard belt sheath here for the 110. Now the sheaths, this one here is made in Mexico. On some of their knife models, Buck does have the sheath made in the US too. And of course it's always stamped with the model number on the back side there, 110. So there's a look-see at the box and the sheath. Good leather. I've always been impressed with their leather sheaths. And of course, you got the button there, stamped Buck. The Buck logo there on the flap. So yeah, you always get a quality sheath. So let's take a look at this knife. Now, I have to thank a viewer, RW. Yeah, RW. Thank you, RW, for letting me know about this. There was 100 of these made exclusively for Red Hill Cutlery, and Red Hill Cutlery is out of Kentucky, and they bill themselves as Kentucky's largest knife store. And I have checked out their website, and they do have a wide selection of knives there, so check out Red Hill Cutlery. I'm not sure of the significance of the Bourbon and Blades. I'm assuming the bourbon is because Kentucky's known for their bourbon also. Now, I do want to point out that when I've gotten some of the Buck lockbacks before, you'll hear a little grinding in there. I don't know if this will pick it up or not. I couldn't quite hear it there. You get a little bit of kind of a grinding noise and a little bit of resistance as you're opening it up for the first time. So let's get a little oil down in there. Usually doesn't take much. A couple little drops there. And it'll smooth it right out. Oh yeah. Yep. Listen to that. Yeah, I love that sound. So I can probably clean these pivots out just a little bit and make it even more smooth, but yeah. So the 110 was introduced in 1964. And on one of the stats sheets that I read on it, it showed that over 10 million of them produced. But you know, I don't even remember when that stat sheet was put out. That was put out several years ago, I believe. Who knows how many millions of these 110s that they put out. It is such a popular knife, and yeah, even to this day, the 110 kind of sets the standard for lockback knives. Now, as you can see, I've got it all fingerprinted up already, so why don't we try to shine these up just a little bit. I'm going to put some case paste on here, let it dry, and then we'll just shine it up here. Okay, I got the front side of it done here, and the paste is dried off just a little bit. Just rub it out. Get those bolsters polished up. Of course, you know, being a sailor, former sailor there, I'm used to polishing brass. I have polished more brass in my life than I care to sometimes. We were constantly shining the brass out there on the ship. Even on, you know, shore stations, we'd have brass displays of stuff, and you always had to keep that brass shiny. Yep. So if you had a brass railing around something and somebody would come up and touch it or grab a hold of it, you know, you'd scream at them, "Keep your hands off the bright work." And I just spent 2 hours polishing that all up, and you want to come and grab it and put your grubby fingerprints all over it? Yeah. That's shining right up. One thing I like here is they actually use like an engraving pen, so it's engraved down in there. It's not just printed on there. You know, if it's printed on there, I'd hesitate to try to polish it, because sometimes you can take that off when you're polishing. So it's nice that it's actually engraved down in there. We're looking a lot better already, aren't we? So yeah, this Buck 110 model just revolutionized the hunting knife world. And just about, I would say, every lockback knife since 1964, by all the different manufacturers, it's all paying homage to the 110. And you got some nice grind lines in there too. I like seeing those grind lines. Just a fine blade. Let's see, I think it's 4 inches. Going from memory here. It's a nice clip point blade. Yep, it's right at 4 inches. Overall length. Oh, right around 8.5 inches. You know, you can get a nice full grip on this one. You can't say it's too tiny. Clean it up. I'm going to flip it over here on the back side, and we'll get the back side polished up too. Yeah, Buck hit a home run when they came out with this. This one, I think, really put them on the map. Now, they'd been making their fixed blade hunting knives for years. Well, since 1902 with Hoyt Buck. Then later on in, what was it, the 40s or 50s, they actually got incorporated and such. Really got their mail order business going. But I really think, I mean, they were being successful, but I really think when this knife came out, that's what really put them on the map. Now, you can't say that Buck invented the lockback. I think there were lockbacks throughout history, but I think you can say Buck kind of perfected it and modernized it and improved it and made it popular. Yeah, you can say they made it popular, I think, without exaggerating any. Boy, that clip point, boy, it catches, doesn't it? Yeah. So what do you think? Do you own a 110 or a 112? I love the 112 too. Sometimes I think maybe the 112 is a perfection of the 110 because it is just slightly smaller, you know, and sometimes it's a little easier to use. But I think there's a lot of people like the Kirby Creek outfit, and you got to check out the Kirby Creek outfit. But he's out there all the time using a buck 110, and he does some amazing work with a simple 110. I know he got one in Magna Cut, and he loves it. That's brass. It's so easy to get fingerprints on, isn't it? But yeah, it's nice just to get it here, get rid of the fingerprints, and get it all cleaned up before you store it away. Because, you know, brass and nickel silver, if you're constantly handling the brass and the nickel silver, the oil and salt from your fingers, it'll leave marks in there. So it's best just to keep them wiped down. Now, if it's your working knife and it's out in the field with you all the time, why, obviously you don't have to hand polish them or anything, but this is kind of a collector's model. Probably won't be used. Keep it nice. Yes, I have some Save Queens. I do have my Save Queens. But to get a 110 signed by C.J. Buck just really got me excited. So there you have it. The exclusive 1 of 100 2023 Bourbon and Blades, signed by C.J. Buck himself. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this review of the 110. I've got other Buck videos, and as a matter of fact, I'll put a link to my Buck Knives playlist down here in the right-hand corner. In the middle, there should be a Knife Delights logo. Click on that to subscribe if you'd like. And down here in the left corner, they put a link to a video that, well, YouTube thinks you should see next. Well, until next time, everyone, have a very delightful day.